just want to get off hockey for a second. What's going on with the Blue Jays? They got a magnificent team, but they just can't get a rhythm going. Perry, what do you think?
What do you mean they can't get a rhythm? They're like on a 5-game win streak. What is it, Sean? Like 6-game win streak. What are you talking about?
Up until the 5 games. 5-game win streak, which is nothing in baseball. You know that. There's 1 billion games in baseball. A 5-game win streak is inconsequential. Up until the 5-game win streak, they were going, and then they got a fine team. Don't you think they got a great team?
Well, I think they're a lot better than they've shown. I watched too much of them, actually, but I think to summarize their problems, their pitching is starting to be what they'd hoped it would be, and coincidentally with that, they're starting to hit. But Encarnacion is out. The outfielder Mike, I'll think of his last name, from Seattle is out. Once he's into the lineup, then they'll have a full lineup. I still think they need some relief pitching, but they're hitting the ball very well, and I don't know what to say about them. They're 1 game out of 500. Somebody said on another station, the Blue Jays are the most 500-ish team they've ever seen.
No, but Billy, what I was trying to say is, to the point of what Perry meant, 5-game win streak. It means shit. There's 1 million games in baseball. 1 million games, right?
Well, you got to start somewhere, Frank.
Yeah. But up until now, they go 3 or 4, and then they. Is this for real, though? Is now this 5 games? You think they're on the right road? I love the Blue Jays. I love it. I love the team. I think it's close to my restaurant. I like walking down there, watching a game. It's probably the most reasonable entertainment, sports entertainment in Toronto, because the Raptors are out of reach and the Leafs are completely out of reach. And I think the Argonauts are pretty reasonable.
So
I think, Frank, that in 2 weeks or less, that's all there'll be. It'll just be the Blue Jays, and you better hope that they're back in the. And they've got a very comfortable division. The American League East is the place to be. You could want to play 500 baseball and still be in 2nd or 3rd place.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so the Leafs have got to get better, and the Blue Jays have got to get better. And I think one of the kids, like that Daniel Norris that they have in Buffalo, he's not doing much. He was expected to be a starter. If he can come around and they can bring him back and strengthen their bullpen, and R.A. Dickey is not having a great year, but they get a lot of mileage out of him. He's got to start winning some games. He hasn't won since April, I don't think, and they're an interesting team. I enjoy them too. I
love the Blue Jays. I love them whether I watch them on television or whether I watch them live. I love watching them live. I think it's the Rogers Center is just a great place. I love it. And are you a Blue Jay fan, Perry?
Yeah, and I just want to point out that a couple things. This team started out with a bunch of young players that were not ready to be full-time players. Daniel Norris was one, Dalton Pompey is another. They sent them down to the minors. Dalton Pompey was their starting center fielder. He's now in Double-A ball. I think they made some fundamental mistakes in evaluating their talent. They've changed
the management? The manager?
They just made some mistakes. Fortunately, they're able to get away with it because they're playing in a very weak division. Their pitching's coming around. Their hitting's always been there. Jose Reyes is starting. He's healthy and he's playing okay. All they got to do right now is get themselves that reliever. And there is, they're out there trying to look for one guy in particular, whether they're able to get him or not. It's 162 games. If you want to look at it as 5 or 6 games, it doesn't mean anything. I would say that the first quarter of the season didn't mean anything anyway.
Fair enough. So do you think that in the home stretch they got the horses to get there?
Well, there's one guy available as a free agent, Storiano. We all know him.
That's the guy we're talking about.
Yeah. Pitcher.
Yeah.
He wants $14 million for 2 years. The Blue Jays don't want to pay him. So that means that Rogers have to look and say, okay, if we brought in Storiano, where would we end up? And Anthopoulos can say, well, I would say that we'll win the East. Okay, we're going to spend $14 million, and if we don't win the East, you just clean your desk up at the end of the year.
He'll be gone anyway. I mean, if they don't win, if they don't get into it, he'll be gone. Beeston's gone. The whole thing's going to be blown up unless they get into the playoffs. So there's what you're saying.
You're blown up anyway.
Alfonso Soriano's available for 2 years, price tag of $14 million, $7 million a season. If they don't go out and sign him, then they're just sort of playing around. They're pussyfooting around the issue, which is they're starting to come around right now. If you want to get yourself a proven reliever, go get him. If you don't want to spend...
Perry, I'm just telling you this. Rogers has made many investments year after year. A couple of years ago, they had the most expensive team on the field. It didn't work out. They looked great on paper, but they looked shit on the field. So Rogers has never cheaped out on their fans. So hopefully this year, I like the team. I think the team is very entertaining to watch. And look at what the Rays have done in a small market with a very small budget. They've always been competitive, yes or no?
Yeah, as has Oakland and a lot of other...
Well managed.
Yeah.
Well managed.
Well managed. Well managed. That's the word I was looking for, Billy. Well managed. Just like a business, just like a family, just like an individual. Well managed.